Wow, look at this. This one leaf represents millions of years of energy evolution on this planet. Join us on the Energy Hunter as we explore energy in our world and in our local area.
Life requires energy. You can't move, play, or even sleep without using energy to drive our cellular processes. It wouldn't rain, and we wouldn't have flowing rivers and beautiful waterfalls without the input of energy to drive the hydrologic cycle. Winds wouldn't blow carrying seeds from plant to plant without energy to create different pressure zones in the atmosphere. All of these things we take for granted as we go about our daily lives. It's always been a part of our experience, and therefore we really don't think about it very much. So where does this energy come from? As inhabitants of planet Earth, we're basically riding along on a rock in a vast empty space. There's no galactic outlet we can plug the Earth into for our energy needs. We're truly isolated in relatively empty space. So where does this energy come from? How does our isolated planet get the energy it needs to sustain life and drive our planet's many life-giving cycles? Most energy resources on this beautiful planet of ours can be traced to four basic origins. The sun provides the vast majority of energy to our planet and will most often be the origin of the energy we use. But we can also obtain energy from gravitational influence of the moon, the immense heat energy contained within our planet's core, and the incredible energy contained within the building blocks of matter, the humble atom. These four basic sources, sun, moon, earth, and atoms, help power our world and make life possible on this planet.
Energy is everywhere. It's in you, it's in me, it's in the ground that we walk on, the river, the trees, and the leaves. The world is awash in energy. So why, tell me, why are we using old energy? Old energy, what do I mean by that? I mean, we're using fossil fuels, energy that was collected on this earth millions of years ago, trapped and stored underground, and we're digging up and using energy from a million years ago. We need to be using the energy that's hitting the earth today, energy that can sustain us. Sustainability means that we're not depleting a resource. We are using a resource and can continue to use it for the foreseeable future. Sun is not going to go away. If we can find a way to trap the energy of the sun instead of coal and oil, which will deplete, then our society is going to be better off for the future. There's a lot of people that are arguing about when this energy is going to go away. That really doesn't matter. Energy is going to go away in the form of fossil fuels. We are going to deplete the reserves someday. And we need to solve that problem now. And that's what the Energy Hunter is all about. We're going to be looking at ways in which we can solve our energy using different methods, different techniques, maybe even thinking about ways to save energy. But we're going to explore all of those in our show.
Why? Because it's always been convenient. It's how we've always done it, and we have a complete infrastructure built up around it. Pipelines, service stations, coal transport systems, fuel storage systems, none of these happened overnight, but through years of development, growth, and government subsidies. Now we find ourselves in a difficult position. We recognize that our current path is dangerous for the future. Energy from fossil fuels won't last forever, and the next generation requires us to start a path in a new direction. But moving in a new direction is hard and requires work and careful thinking.
This reminds me of a story I tell my students all the time. relating to change and human nature, and how human nature oftentimes resists change simply because they've learned over the years that the way they've been doing things is working and has been working for a long time. The story actually centers around a family at Thanksgiving. The mother is with her daughter in the living room. The grandmother's cooking turkey, and the daughter asked the mother, "Why did your grandmother cut the top off of the turkey before she put it in the oven?" And the mother thinks for a second, looks at the daughter and says, "You know, I'm not really sure, but that's how my mom always did it. Why don't we go ask her?" And so they go into the kitchen and then they ask the grandmother why she cut the top off the turkey. And she goes, "Well, you know, I'm not really sure, but my mom always did that before she cooked it. And when I taught you how to do the same thing." Well, the great-grandmother was there as well, and she was sitting in the other room. And so they all went into the other room to talk to the great-grandmother and find out what was going on. And the great-grandmother says, "Well, honey, back then we had an oven that was about this big. And the turkey was always too big, so I had to cut the top of the turkey off to make it fit in our small oven." They all got a great laugh out of that, and then it's a very poignant story about how things we've done in the past can affect things we do in the future, and we don't really think about what we're doing. If you think about it, they were cutting tops off turkeys for no reason at all, just because that's the way they had done it in the past. But energy is very similar to that. We've been using energy in a way that we've been using energy for tens, maybe 100 years. And we don't need to be doing it that way anymore. It's just like cutting the top off of the turkey. We need to refocus and use different forms of energy because it makes more sense for the modern world we have today. Sometimes we don't change because it's comfortable that way. But change can oftentimes provide amazing benefits to our society. And in the case of energy, that's one amazing benefit that we can gain if we go to more alternative forms of energy. We can reduce pollution. We can reduce dependence on fuels that are not sustainable. Fossil fuels are going to be going away in the future, maybe not our generation or our kids, but certainly our grandkids. And so it's something we need to be thinking about now. And that's what we're trying to do here on the Energy Hunter, is help people focus on where change can happen and what change will be beneficial to our society. My name is Scott Tippins, and I am the Energy Hunter. By day, I'm a professor here at Southern Polytechnic State University, and I'm also the director of our Alternate Energy Innovation Center. Join us as we explore new ways to harness energy and store that energy for later use. We're going to see some of the things that our researchers are doing in the labs, and we're also going to see some of the projects students are doing in order to explore that energy. We're also going to go off campus and look at various sites related to energy generation within the community. We have lots of things to share, from newly installed solar panels on Building Q, a fully functional thin film solar fabrication facility, research into alternative solar panel construction, a solar-powered greenhouse, and even a modern version of a solar oven. Our goal is to keep you informed about what's happening in the field of energy around campus and in our community. Well, that's it for our first installment of the Energy Hunter. Stay tuned as we bring out some more videos showing you a little bit more about energy and a little bit more about what's going on campus. So keep on hunting for that energy. See ya. Okay. Whoa. Nice. Whoa. Yep. Nice. Rolling. My name is Scott Tippins, and I am the Energy. And by day, I'm a blah. Okay. Of course, there it comes. Wait a minute. How we use it that matters. That's good.